This is ABC 7 News at 5. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us. Haley is off this evening. First tonight, a developing story in Manatee County. Right now, Manatee County Sheriff's deputies are working a death investigation at a house on 38th Avenue West in Bradenton. The Sheriff's Office confirms 3 people are dead inside that home. They are treating it as a double homicide and a suicide. Sheriff Brad Stubbe says the victims are a man, a woman, and a preteen aged boy. Their bodies were found inside the home. Sheriff's Office would not release the victims' names, but they say deputies have been called to the home in the past for a domestic disturbance call. We have a crew on the scene. We'll bring you the updates as soon as they are available. Sarasota police also conducting a death investigation involving a mother and an adult son. Around 11:30 this morning, Sarasota County firefighters were called to a house on Margaret Street. That's off Lime Avenue near 12th Street. When they got there, they asked Sarasota police to assist. Police say a family member found 2 people unconscious and called 911. The mother and son are both dead. Police say one of the victims was taken to the hospital but later died. The other was pronounced dead at the home. Sarasota County hazmat team was called there. They say exposure to drain opener chemicals caused the 2 people to die. Police are not releasing the names of the victims until the family is notified. Now to the growing number of new cases of Zika virus in Florida. Governor Rick Scott says there are 10 additional Zika cases likely transmitted by mosquitoes. That brings the total number now in the state to 14. The 4 cases announced Friday were in Broward and Miami-Dade counties. Governor Scott says the 10 new cases are in one small square mile area just north of downtown Miami. Government health officials are warning that pregnant women should not travel to the Zika-stricken part of Miami, and they are urging expectant mothers who frequent the neighborhood to get tested. Governor Scott is urging people statewide to eliminate areas of standing water where mosquitoes breed.
No standing water in your house, no standing water around your house. These mosquitoes are not mosquitoes that fly a long distance. The way it's explained to me, they're not active biters. But you know, the risk is that we have somebody that travels here from another country. They bring an active case with them, mosquito bites them, and then bites a Florida citizen or our visitor.
Governor Scott says 2,300 people have been tested for Zika across the state, including 200 people in the affected area in Miami. Florida allocated $26.2 million out of the state budget to battle the Zika virus. And as those new cases pop up, businesses across Florida worry it might deter tourists from visiting the area. ABC 7's Kate Flexter spoke to local business owners about that threat, and she joins us now with more. Kate?
Scott, tourism is a $90 billion industry here in Florida. And now local businesses are worrying the Zika virus could pose a threat not just to health, but to our local economy.
The Gilbert family's visiting Sarasota from the UK, and in planning their trip, they took the Zika virus into account.
Before I heard about it, I already thought that it was going to happen just because it was going to be coming up from Brazil.
Still, they decided to go ahead with their trip, just taking extra precautions.
Yeah, we're a bit more conscious of it. I mean, we don't like being stung by mosquitoes at the best of times, and now we're even more spraying, yeah.
So far, Visit Sarasota County says it doesn't expect the Zika virus to have a large impact on tourism.
We haven't had any reports that it's been deterring people from the area, but like I said, we're still monitoring it.
But as the Zika virus spreads in Florida, countries like the UK have issued travel advisories urging pregnant women to avoid travel to the state. And local businesses worry the Gilbert family may be the exception, while other tourists might be deterred from visiting.
But if you've got a choice between going to South Florida or going to somewhere else, Louisiana or somewhere, California, I suppose, you might think about choosing some other place.
Robert Richards of the Old Salty Dog says the restaurant gets a lot of tourists. He worries the Zika virus could have a similar impact on business as the BP oil spill. While the spill didn't directly impact local beaches, he says many visitors canceled their trips and business suffered.
It was the idea that it may come down and impact. So when you've got a 2 or 3 month window to cancel your vacation, a lot of people did. Same thing with the Zika.
As for the full effect the Zika virus will have on tourism locally, Richards says that remains to be seen.
It can definitely have a negative impact. How big an impact it's going to be, I think probably depends on how severe the Zika infestation becomes.
Visit Sarasota County says it will stay in close communication with the Department of Health, as well as Visit Florida as this situation develops. Scott?
All right, Kate, thank you. Another big story on the Suncoast today is traffic. A stretch of I-75 is closed tonight because of a major accident involving 2 semis and multiple other vehicles. The northbound entrance ramp at State Road 70 is still closed. The interstate from 70 to State Road 64 blocked off. Troopers say the northbound lanes will likely be closed until at least midnight tonight. Troopers are still investigating a multi-car crash that happened before noon. Troopers say a pickup truck heading south on the interstate cut off a semi. That semi went through the median. Several other vehicles also veered off the road. Around 40 gallons of diesel fuel spilled onto the roadway as well. A hazmat crew cleaning up that fuel. No one was hurt in the crash, fortunately, but again, the entrance ramp to State Road 70 north to 64 is still closed. Drivers have to get off at State Road 70, find another route to 64. Taking a look at traffic right now, you can see traffic backed up along I-75 in those northbound lanes because of the closure as far south as we can see on our map. And it's also affecting traffic on State Road 70 as well. And then if you look north to State Road 64, as all those cars then try to get back on to the interstate. But once you get past there, it is all green on the interstate. Now over to Bob for a look at our weather today. A little drier today, Bob.
Yeah, not much green on the radar map either at this point, Scott. But I think we will see some storms start to develop into Charlotte County and then work their way into South Sarasota County through the evening hours. You can see not much in Manatee and Sarasota as a result of that drier air that's punched in behind that system, which brought all the rough weather yesterday to the Suncoast. One or two lone showers just to the east of Punta Gorda. Heavy rainfall, though, approaching Charlotte Harbor. And this is all moving off to the north-northwest. So folks in Rotunda and Placida, as well as places north, look out later on this evening. 93 right now. It feels like 102. With lack of rain around, it's not cooling things down too much. Winds are out of the north-northwest. Well, we may have a tropical system here. This could be Earl. A reconnaissance aircraft was on its way to investigate this area, and then right by Jamaica pulled up short and headed back to home because of some maintenance issues. Again, this is looking better organized as it heads off to the west. Right now, not a big concern for us at this point as it will move on a west-northwesterly course, even if it were to develop and move across Central America and then possibly up toward Texas later on down the road. We'll have more in the tropics and our weather coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Sarasota police say alert pharmacists helped notify them about prescription drug abuse. Darren King, Tiffany Green, and Tony Hall Jr. are accused of passing and manufacturing fraudulent prescriptions. Police say from April through July, the trio traveled from South Florida to Sarasota. They dropped off prescription forms for codeine with fake patient names and real names of physicians. Several pharmacists contacted the police department, which led to the arrest. They face a total now of 36 felonies. There are a rising number of law enforcement agencies around the state that are making it mandatory for their officers to wear body armor. Sarasota County Sheriff's Captain John Walsh says during day-to-day operations, deputies there are not required to wear body armor, but it must be readily accessible in their patrol vehicles.
I would like to think that most of our law enforcement personnel out on the street today are wearing it. It's become more of a cultural thing now. I don't leave my house without it.
Punta Gorda Police in Charlotte County also does not have a mandatory wear policy, but they do provide vests to their officers. ABC 7 business commentator Richard Stern joins us now. And Richard, sort of a mixed start for the new month on Wall Street.
Scott, you're exactly right. We did finish the month of July with positive numbers, although the Dow, in a very strange circumstance, actually finished all of last week with down numbers, but still a positive month. As far as today went, well, we were up this morning, down this afternoon, finished with a little bit of a lower close, but the NASDAQ continues to move higher. Matter of fact, the NASDAQ today closed at a new 52-week high, so that's a mixed market. Let's see the results of our mixed market trading today. There you see the Dow fell not quite 28 points, 0.15%, closing at 18,404.51 on volume of 618 million shares. The NASDAQ, again, is the star of the day, a 52-week high, closing at 5,184.20, a gain of more than 22 points, more than 0.4%, closing on volume of 1,601 million shares. The S&P down just a little bit, less than 3 points, just over 0.1% at 2,170.84. Well, you may recall Verizon. Remember that company? Oh, yes. Well, just last week, they paid $4.8 billion to buy Yahoo. Last year, they paid $4.4 billion. And what did they buy? AOL. Today, oh, no big deal. They only spent $2.4 billion to buy a company by the name of Fleetmatics. Their stock, by the way, Fleetmatics, was up 38%. That's because Verizon's offer to buy the software company. They make GPS programs for tracking systems for trucks. Allows companies to track where their vehicles are, how much gas they're using, what their mileage is, et cetera, et cetera. The deal is expected to close in the fourth quarter of this year. And Scott, Verizon keeps changing the way the company looks, getting much, much more into technology, maybe a little bit less into what we think of them as, and that's a telephone company.
Yeah, certainly, they are expanding.
Yes.
And we're always eager to hear news about Apple, and you have some tonight.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Last Tuesday, Apple announced their earnings. The stock was $96 and change. Today, it's $106 and change. It's almost by exactly 10% in just 4 trading days. So we've got a lot of Apple shareholders out there. You know who you are, and you're feeling a little better tonight than you were 1 week ago.
Absolutely, 10%. That's a nice gain.
You got it.
All right, Richard, thanks so much for the update.
You're welcome, Scott.
Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, another firestorm over Donald Trump's comments. What leaders from both sides of the aisle are saying about Trump's words about the family of a fallen soldier. And we'll get back to ABC 7's Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with a full weather forecast for the week ahead. And how much does your weight really have to do with your risk of heart problems? The surprising answer coming up in Health Smart.
Need new windows? Buy direct from the factory. New South Window is having a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Buy 4 windows, save 25%. Buy 6 windows, save 30%. Buy 8 or more windows and save 35%. How? Because New South owns the factory and you cut out the middleman. Award-winning, energy-efficient windows and doors installed with a lifetime warranty. New South Windows are made in Florida for Florida homes by Florida workers. Visit newsouthwindow.com or call now.
Getting older shouldn't mean giving up all the things she loves to do. It should just mean, well, finding new ways to do them. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to provide help with personal care, housekeeping, and of course, meal preparation.
Oh, that smells so good.
Oh, and it tastes good too.
We can provide the right care right at home.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
If you have a suspicion for harboring prostate cancer, we have a way of diagnosing by using an exquisite instrument called 3-dimensional color flow power Doppler ultrasound. Using this system, we can identify abnormalities within the prostate that you could otherwise never detect. The Dotoli Cancer Center is the only center in the southeastern United States which has this technology. If you have prostate cancer, we will find it.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Hurricane season is here, and Suncoast weather can go from this to this in seconds. So when severe weather threatens, count on the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC 7.
We're armed with the most advanced weather technology so that we can bring you storm warnings faster and with more detail than ever before.
Plus, we focus on the Suncoast and track storms right down to your neighborhood.
On air, online, and on your mobile device. Turn to the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC 7. We're here for you.
The firestorm over Donald Trump's latest comments still dogging the Republican presidential nominee. Leaders from both sides of the aisle now, including rival Hillary Clinton, now condemning Trump's words about the family of a fallen soldier. ABC's Lana Zak has the latest now from Washington.
President Obama, speaking before wounded veterans, says he's sick of people disparaging the U.S. military.
No one has given more for our freedom and our security than our Gold Star families. As Commander-in-Chief, I'm pretty tired of some folks trash-talking America's military and troops.
While Donald Trump is digging his heels in deeper in his feud with the parents of a fallen U.S. soldier, Army Captain Humayun Khan, tweeting this morning, "This story is not about Mr. Khan, who's all over the place doing interviews, but rather radical Islamic terrorism in the U.S. Get smart." The Khans, a Muslim couple, appeared at the Democratic convention speaking about their sacrifice after their son died protecting his troops in Iraq.
You have sacrificed nothing and no one.
But over the weekend, Trump made some of his most controversial comments to date.
How would you answer that, Father? What sacrifice have you made for your country?
I think I've made a lot of sacrifices. I work very, very hard. I've created thousands and thousands of jobs.
Trump also questioned the silence from Mrs. Khan during the speech, suggesting she was oppressed by her religion. This morning on CNN, she answered the critique, saying she was overcome seeing her deceased son's photo on stage.
Anybody can see that how different that time was when I was standing there in front of America.
Other military families, Republican Senator John McCain and the head of the VFW have all rebuked Trump's comments, even though his vice president Mike Pence called Captain Khan a hero.
Another part of that interview making headlines, Trump saying definitively that Putin would not go into the Ukraine and then revising his position after being told that troops are already there. Lana Zak, ABC News, Washington.
Lana, thank you. In Florida, today is the deadline to register to vote in the primary election. Voting rights advocates across the state are using the day as an opportunity to try and restore the rights of people who have been convicted of felonies and served their sentences. Under current Florida law, those convicted must wait at least 5 years after leaving the prison before their voting rights can be restored. And even then, restoration is not guaranteed. Reverend Greg James served 14 years in prison before he was released in 2008. He still can't vote and says those who are eligible need to elect people who will change the law.
After being released from prison, after serving my time, paying my dues, I still can't be counted at a voting poll. So today is a big day for all of those who have not registered.
Voting rights advocates are also gathering petitions to make the Florida Supreme Court review a proposed constitutional amendment for 2018 that would allow voters to change the law if more than 60% approve of the amendment. The August 30th primary will include races for U.S. Senate, House of Representatives, along with local commission races and those for school board. Both the Sarasota and Manatee County Elections Office is closed at 5 this afternoon, but as long as your registration form is postmarked by today, it will be accepted. More than 2 million ballots have already been mailed out to Floridians. For more information on the election, you can go to Visit Sarasota Votes. You can visit sarasotavotes.com or to votemanatee.com. We have those both on our website if you got confused by me reading them. But yeah, good places to go for a lot of information, not only on how to get a ballot, but also what's on the ballot as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got to educate yourself prior, right? That's right.
Yeah.
We are looking at not as many storms yesterday. Boy, some big ones came. I know you said you had 2 inches of rainfall at your location, and I tell you what, we had some small hail reported around town. No severe weather warnings issued by the National Weather Service. However, the storms were fairly strong with winds up to 40 miles an hour. As far as today goes, a different story. Lakewood Ranch webcam showing generally sunny skies throughout most of the day. A few clouds now starting to gather, but that is mainly down to our south, and that activity is starting to work its way in our direction. What's happened is that the system that kind of brought us the rough weather yesterday is a little trough of low pressure shifted off into the Gulf of Mexico, and in its wake, it left behind some drier air, slightly drier air, but that's going to be changing tomorrow, so showers and storms will be back again full force. Now, we're going to get some this evening. But it won't be as widespread as we saw yesterday, but more storms anticipated as we push through this week. So a little bit of a break this week, and then things will be back on again tomorrow afternoon as more additional moisture starts to move in from the southeast. But you can see that activity pretty strong down near Sanibel and also Fort Myers, stretching up to parts of Charlotte Harbor right now. Even a few showers now moving close to Punta Gorda, near the Punta Gorda Airport, and actually pressing off toward the northwest at around 10 to 15. So Northport, get ready for some rain. Port Charlotte, you'll get some rain here in just a little bit, and some of these cells will start to produce some lightning. This cell just popped up within the last 10 minutes along I-75 near the Venice extension right there. Currently, we have partly cloudy skies, 93 degrees, 102. That's what it feels like currently. And the dew point is at 73. Winds are out of the west-northwest, and that's a result of that sea breeze, which has kicked in. Some showers cooling things down in Jacksonville at 77 there. 91 in Key West, the same in Orlando, and 89 degrees now in Miami. And temperatures across the region, well, look at this, 97 degrees now in Mayaca City, 96 in Arcadia, and 95 at Lakewood Ranch. So the heat is on. With all this heat just kind of sitting around, that energy will be used with some storms this evening. So we'll keep an eye on those for the potential for becoming rough once again. Tomorrow's forecast does call for temperatures to warm close to seasonal averages into the low 90s, with a good chance for scattered mainly afternoon and evening thunderstorms, some of which could be rather strong at times. And as far as the satellite and radar review goes, you can see that moisture coming back into play now over the Bahamas, and that first set of strong storms that moved through yesterday now out into the Gulf of Mexico. As far as the RPM forecast model goes, showers this evening scattered about, and then they'll be back a little bit more intense, I think, tomorrow afternoon as that sea breeze develops. There's a chance for an isolated shower near the coast during the morning hours, and then better chances for showers and storms coming into play later on in the afternoon and evening, right in through Wednesday. Well, this is the next system in store for us, I think, as far as tropical weather goes. This could become Earl very quickly. Reconnaissance aircraft was on the way investigating, took off from Keesler Air Force Base, was on its way down there at around 3, 4 o'clock just near Jamaica, and then it turns around and heads back due to some maintenance issues. So it is returning back to home base right now. We'll keep an eye on that, but even if it were to develop and become Earl, it will stay to our south and have a big impact on Central America. Winds will stay fairly light tomorrow for boaters. Seas running less than 2 feet. The water temperature is steamy, 91 degrees. Tides upcoming, low tide at 7:54. And then the forecast tonight, isolated evening storms, 77 for a low, and then partly cloudy skies tomorrow. Expect showers and storms scattered about, mainly in the afternoon. There's a chance for an isolated late morning storm near the coast, but most of it will be late afternoon and evening. And then look at that, rain chances staying high right through the weekend. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. In health news tonight, a surprising new study suggests obesity might not be as closely linked to heart disease as we thought. Researchers in Sweden are conducting a novel study of identical twins. They're finding those with higher body mass indexes than their twin siblings did not appear to have a greater risk of heart attack. The researchers found that being obese was still strongly linked to the risk of diabetes, which is a factor of heart disease. Regular exercise and a balanced diet are still key to having a healthy and happy heart. A new study finds eating meat may be linked to a higher risk of an early death. The study also found replacing animal protein with plant protein, such as from nuts and beans, can decrease your risk of premature death. The study of data on the diets of more than 131,000 people was published in JAMA Internal Medicine. It found a 10% increase in animal protein intake was linked to a 2% increase in overall mortality and an 8% rise in risk of cardiovascular related to death. Now, the study also found a 3% increase in plant protein intake was linked to a 10% decrease in overall mortality and a 12% decrease in cardiovascular mortality. Some newborns may not be well protected in car seats. In a recent study, Australian researchers found that restraints in infant car seats fit most newborns poorly, and low birth weight infants in particular may not be well protected. Researchers found that fewer than 1 in 5 normal and low birth weight babies achieved a proper harness fit. The CDC classifies children born weighing less than 5.5 pounds as low birth weight. Historically, the smallest children's car seats are designed for babies weighing between 6.5 and 9 pounds. Coming up, an out-of-control car crash. Good Samaritans in Florida work together to save the banged-up driver. Plus, an Italian artist creates an Olympic-sized tribute to Rio. Those stories are coming up right after this.
For Hurricane season is here, so when severe weather threatens, count on the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7.
We bring you storm warnings faster and with more detail than ever before.
And track storms right down to your neighborhood.
On air, online, and on your mobile device, turn to the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7. We're here for you.
They say good things come to those that wait. Well, you've waited long enough. You deserve to feel fabulous in your fashionable new Fiat 500X from Alfa Romeo Fiat in Sarasota. Boldly innovative, seductively stylish. Fiat gives you everything you'd expect from a capable utility vehicle, like a spacious interior and advanced safety systems, designed and built like a sexy little Sportster. Don't wait any longer. You deserve to feel fabulous. Get a new Fiat at Alfa Romeo Fiat of Sarasota.
Record-setting hot weather means your AC is working overtime to keep your home cool, which can lead to high bills. That's why we're bringing in the energy experts from Florida Power and Light Company. Watch ABC7 News from 5 to 6:30 this Tuesday to get your questions answered during the FPL Ask the Energy Expert phone bank. From smart technology to free online tools, learn how to save energy and money only on ABC7.
Batteries Plus bulbs keep stacks of batteries for cars, cell phones, watches, plus light bulbs for lamps, can lights, and appliances right on hand. Did I mention we also repair smartphones? Batteries Plus bulbs. Trust the plus. Visit Batteries Plus bulbs today.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
Dog days of summer got you down? Beat the heat with huge summer savings during the summer clearance event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. You'll be the coolest family on the block in your all-new Chrysler Pacifica for just $27,999. Or get the lowest price ever on a new Dodge Journey, just $15,999. And right now, get up to $10,000 off a new Ram Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Now to an amazing survival story thanks to some Good Samaritans who raced to save a driver in a burning car. Take a look. The terrifying crash caught on a surveillance camera Saturday in DeLand, Florida. The driver lost control of the car, flipping nearly a dozen times before coming to a stop. Some witnesses rushed to the scene to help the driver, who was still conscious. One even brought a fire extinguisher to fight the flames. And working together, they used manpower to turn the car over and pull the driver out.
I just immediately did what everybody else was doing, just trying to get him out of the car. And we all came up with the idea, if there was enough people, we could flip it. Whenever we flipped it over, I had noticed it had a sunroof on it. And immediately, I jumped on top of the car, and I figured that's how we were going to get the guy out.
After bystanders performed the rescue, emergency crews flew the driver to a nearby hospital. Police say the driver was conscious when they took him to the hospital. He's being treated for his injuries now. Authorities in North Carolina are working to repair a road after a driver plunged his car into a sinkhole. Sunday night, police shut down a portion of the road after heavy rain and rushing creek water caused that hole to form. It's estimated to be 15 to 20 feet deep. One driver had to be rescued when he drove right into it, but he was not hurt. Well, it takes a lot of guts to jump out of a plane without a parachute. 42-year-old professional stuntman Luke Akins figured he'd be fine free falling for more than 4.5 miles as long as he landed on his 30 by 30 meter safety net. And he did. The jump was from a death-defying altitude of 25,000 feet. This makes Akins the only skydiver ever to go from plane to planet Earth without a parachute and survive. After a 2-minute free fall, Akins landed onto the net at the Big Sky Movie Ranch in Simi Valley, California. Just an incredible stunt. The Olympic Games opening ceremony in Rio de Janeiro now just 4 days away, and to celebrate, an Italian land artist has created a huge work of art depicting the Brazilian city's Christ the Redeemer statue, holding the 5 Olympic rings. The artist used a 40-year-old tractor to carve up 47,000 square meters of field. He has created other notable images with his tractor in the past, including portraits of Nelson Mandela, President Obama, and Pope Francis. He's very talented. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a new agreement between Venice and Florida Power & Light changes the city is making to its community center to save money on electricity.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass & Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass & Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WinGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WinGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass & Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
Welcome back, two of my favorite guests. Cash 3 and Play 4.
Surprise! We're Pick 3 and Pick 4 now.
Whoa!
But we still play exactly the same. We just got a fresh new look.
Speaking of surprises, I have one for you. Say hello to Pick 2 and Pick 5!
Introducing the complete Pick family of games.
We're family now.
The new Pick 2 and Pick 5 have joined Pick 3 and Pick 4 to give you more choices in your daily gameplay. The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, it's all about getting more for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. Stop by to see our new state-of-the-art showroom today, and you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet, a new 2016 Subaru Forester, for just $229 a month. Complimentary maintenance included at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
We've been slow smoking over oak for more than 45 years. And while sticking to tried and true traditions is kind of our thing, it doesn't hurt to throw something new in the smoker every now and then. Come get some slow smoked chicken wings at Sonny's Barbecue. Order them as an appetizer or as part of a combo with pork, baby back ribs, or both, starting at $10.99. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.